Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 3 of Penitentiary Kingpin. Arthur has no idea that Leah is about to slip him a Mickey. Leah has made her way over to the bar. She needs Arthur to turn his head for a couple of seconds. So Leah gives Roxanne that look, communicating without saying a word that she needs help. Roxanne catches the hint. Arthur, do you live here by yourself? Roxanne said. Yeah, for the most part. Why do you want to move in with me? He said jokingly. That's all it took. Arthur turned his attention towards Roxanne for just 1 second. Leah opened the vial and poured the sedative into his drink. Now all they need him to do is drink it. Leah hands him the drink. Arthur, unaware of the danger he's in, drinks it in one go. It wouldn't be long now, they thought. It took about 10 minutes before Arthur started feeling the effects of it. Leah, being Leah, flirted with Arthur, taking off his shirt, rubbing his chest while she sat in his lap. Roxanne, on the other hand, pretended to carry on a conversation with Arthur. She knew that she would have to be quick, because what they were about to do was going to take some time. Leah turned on the music and started to dance with Arthur. Where's your bathroom? Roxanne asked. In a groggy, drunk voice, Arthur said, down the hall to your left. That was Leah's cue. Lean back. Let me show you what a real woman can do for you before she gets back. Arthur looked at Leah through his drunken eyes, leaning back on the recliner and said, show me. Leah unzipped and pulled his pants off. Why is this fool still awake, she thought. She didn't want to give him any head, but she was going to have to if he didn't pass out. Arthur leaned back on the sofa, hard and ready for Leah. She took one hand and rubbed his chest and stomach, and the other hand, she grabbed his manhood. Damn, she thought. This might be worth the trouble. As she started to stroke him up and down, she looked up. He was out of it. She thought the nigga had passed out. She got up off her knees and sat on the sofa beside him and pretended to continue to have sex with him. Roxanne walked back into the room, putting her fingers up to her lips, signaling for Leah to be quiet. She mouthed to her, I didn't find anything. They both knew now that they would have to put on a show for the feds because Arthur couldn't talk. So Roxanne and Leah sat on the couch next to Arthur, pretending to have sex with him. They faked it all. Leah faked it the best she could because she actually jerked him off, and every now and then she even kissed it. She even masturbated while she jerked him off. Why waste a good dick, she thought. Agent Ferguson in house listened intently to what was going on. Yeah, I knew she would do it. All of that good girl stuff, that was bull, Ferguson said. House looked at Ferguson and smiled, but deep down she felt sorry for Roxanne. She was like most women. They want more out of life than the everyday grind. She took a chance and got up. She took a chance and got caught up, and now the system was taking advantage of her, putting her in a no-win situation. How are we any different than the pimps on the streets? Thought Agent House. Before they left, they put a condom on Arthur. Leah even smeared it with lipstick by sucking his manhood a couple of times. So when he wakes up, even though he won't remember much, he'll think he felt good. Roxanne dropped Leah off at the house before she met up with the feds. This time when she walked into the house, she was greeted by Ferguson with all smiles. That's my girl right there. It took you a while, but you got there. Now maybe he'll loosen up a little bit and tell you something. Hell, y'all got me wet just listening. I know he enjoyed it. House looked at Roxanne. Are you all right? Yeah, I'm okay. I just want to go home and take a shower and go to bed. Before you go, don't forget, in the future, keep the music low so we can hear him clearly. We couldn't really make out anything that he was saying, but that's okay. Also, do you think you can take Leah with you every time? Because she seems to help you loosen up, and that's what we need. And he's comfortable with her too. Besides, a little help can never hurt. I'll try. I don't want her to get suspicious, though, of what we got going on. Leah's not stupid. Yeah, you're right. Do what you think is best, but Leah is an asset that you should use to your advantage. Remember, the quicker we get the information to take him down, the quicker this will be all over for you, and everybody can go back to their lives. I hear what you're saying. I'll think about it. Right now, I just want to go home. Okay, then. Let me get that wire for you, and then you can go home. By the way, he did not see the wire, did he? I didn't take my blouse off, only my pants. He was drunk. He didn't care. Just remember, if this happens again, be careful. Because if he sees the wire, it's all over for everybody. On the ride home, Roxanne knew she had to hurry up and find out where he kept his stash, so when the time came, she would get it before he knew what had hit him. After her shower, Roxanne crawled into bed and thought about St. John. She truly loved him, and she knew that he loved her, but she didn't know if he would approve of what she was doing. One day, she would tell him everything, but not right now. Roxanne woke up excited that she was going to see the love of her life. On the ride up, her and Leah talked about the night before. The reality of the situation had dawned on Leah. Leah looked at Roxanne and said, "Girl, I'm sorry that this mess is happening to you, to us, but more so to you. I wish I would have been there for you when it first started. Just know that I got you." "What's gotten into you?" Roxanne said. "Girl, I don't know how it feels to be caught up like you are, but one of my old friends, her brother got caught up. He turned states on some of his friends after he got caught up by the feds. And he wore a wire, set up his homies. He didn't tell anybody what was happening. He went through that whole ordeal by himself. When he went to prison, even after he set up his homies and testified, they found him hanging in his cell. He had committed suicide. Now, I'm not saying what he did was right, but the way he got used by the system and then rejected by the people he grew up with, all because he didn't want to be poor anymore. Something is wrong with all of this. When I thought about you last night, I felt so bad because you had to go through this mess all by yourself in the beginning." Leah reached over and took Roxanne's hand, squeezing her hand in the way you say "I love you" through touch. "I'm with you till the end, no matter how this turns out. I got you, girl." Roxanne hit the brakes, stopping the car suddenly, because if she didn't, she would have wrecked the car. They both sat there hugging and crying. After a few minutes, they got themselves together and continued on to the prison. St. John and Ben were excited to see Roxanne and Leah. Roxanne hugged St. John, laying her head on his chest. She could hear his heartbeat. Looking at her, he could tell that something was wrong. Before he could say a word, Roxanne said, "I'm okay. Me and Leah just had a moment before we got here." "Yeah," Leah said. "You know how we get, playing on the stereotype that women cry for any reason." St. John and Ben looked at each other and thought, yeah, something is going on. Roxanne, sensing that they weren't buying what her and Leah were selling, quickly changed the subject. "How has everything been going with the move? Has she been dropping it off like she's supposed to? Yeah, everything's good. How about the money on your end? Everything's been great. The money has been like clockwork. The rest of the visit was great. They laughed, ate, and talked about everything except what Roxanne and Leah were up to. Visit time was over, and it was time to leave. This was the hardest thing about visit. Back to life. Back to reality for everybody. On the ride home, Roxanne and Leah had another moment. Because the reality of everything is too big for one person to carry. And together, they were toting a load that they hoped that they would be able to handle. This concludes this episode of Penitentiary Kingpin. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.